I love it when a plan comes together. But unfortunately for Britishvolt, that was never to materialise. No. No matter how much Alexander Boris de Pfeffel Johnson would wave it about as some kind of Brexit win. But unfortunately it went into administration earlier this year through lack of funds. The United Kingdom government was supposed to give £100 million, but they had to get to a certain stage first, which never happened. Now it was a £4 billion project, but unfortunately it's it went into administration and it got bought out by an Australian firm. Oh, good. That'll be okay then, will it? Okay. Offshore more assets, offshore more money. Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, this government loves that, don't they? Doesn't help you though, does it? In Northumberland, who are hoping for jobs at Britishvolt. Don't help you at all. No. Since it's, been put on hold yet again. And why is that? Well, the owners of the company Recharge, who, bought Britishvolt, the police have just raided their offices. And the shit has hit the fan. Oh dear. So what has actually happened? Well, Britishvolt's owners' offices were, like I say, raided by Australian tax police. Well, hadn't they been paying their taxes then? It sounds like there's a bit of a confusion going on here, but the investigators went to the offices of Scale Facilitation and Sanite X, which is owned by Australian entrepreneur David Collard, over alleged tax fraud. Sounds a bit like our government, you know. Instead of tax fraud, though, I suppose it's more like fraud against the people of the United Kingdom, you know. Lobby them, what have you. Stick it all in your back pocket. Yeah, lovely lot, aren't they? The British government. Well, Recharge Industries, English government, UK government, British government? Well, Recharge Industries is a subsidiary of Scale Facilitation, and they bought Britishvolt earlier this year after it collapsed. But is yet to pay for the prospective plant site, so they don't actually pay for the actual site it sits on yet. No. That's a bit silly. Well, sources close to the former partner at the accountancy firm PwC said that the tax raid is due to a misunderstanding of the interaction between the US and Australian tax filings. So not the UK government, they're really out of the picture, you see. Yeah, and all the parties were apparently cooperating, apparently. But Recharge Industries is ultimately owned and run by Scale Facilitation. It's a New York based investment fund which has offices in Australia. It's actually, there's a massive concern in the sense of the amount of money you can throw at this. But because obviously what's going on at the moment regarding tax fraud, they've had to put everything on hold. It's got frozen. It's not very helpful. Now, like I say, Britishvolt was planned to be like a £4 billion plant near Blyth. It's but apparently it was going to offer around 3,000 jobs, skilled jobs, technically, you see. But it's not just that. It's not just, there's one thing really bad for the United Kingdom as a whole. For Britishvolt, going down the old drain, so to speak, and now you've been put on hold again, is that Ford and other car manufacturers and others, like such as part of the Stellantis group, Vauxhall and what have you, they've got concerns about building cars, EV cars, electric cars, in the United Kingdom for export, such as into the European Union. So that brings us on to rules of origin. I'm not going to go into the details of that because I have done so many times before. But basically, any cars that are exported out of the United Kingdom into the EU, quite a large proportion, about 40 to 50% of that vehicle, has to be built in or sourced in the United Kingdom. And at the moment, it's not, because we're having to import stuff. We're buying batteries from abroad and stuff because we don't make them, unfortunately. And that was the whole point about Britishvolt, you see. So if Britishvolt came to materialisation, the car manufacturers, Ford and Vauxhall and what have you, would be able to skip past the old 10% tariff that's going to be slapped on their vehicles, rendering their vehicles not cost effective. It'll obviously hit the sales, wouldn't it? Who's going to pay 10%? You got more. You know, if you've got a 10 grand car, it's going to be, I know it's a slight under exaggeration there, but yeah, 10 grand for a car is 1,000 quid on top. It's for every 10,000 sale price. It's a lot of money, potentially. 50 grand cars, 5 grand on top. You know, people are going to be buying from elsewhere. Why would you buy a car that's built in the United Kingdom? Obviously, Ford and the Stellantis Group, they all know this. So they're shipping out of the United Kingdom regarding EVs and what have you. They've said other stuff as well, but yeah, I'll say shipping out. Stellantis, for instance, has been trying to put pressure on the UK government to be able to renegotiate the trade cooperation agreement, so we have, well, no tariffs on exports of cars. That's not going to happen, is it? Well, to be fair, Maros Sefcovic has pretty much said that. That's not going to happen. So it just seems to be one wall after another that somehow we've got to try and break through. And it's huge amount of investment as well. Okay, the backers of Britishvolt, the Australian firm, is like Tritax, and I've written down there somewhere, wasn't there? Tritax and ABRDN. I don't know who they are, but anyway, they own the majority of Britishvolt. They pretty much just paint. So there's a whole load of patents and stuff like that there, and a bit of a few assets. But it's the amount they've actually. I don't know how. To be fair, I don't know how much they paid for. But I imagine they would have to, well, cover the debt maybe? Or would the creditors have lost that? Maybe. Maybe it was wise that the government held back with 100 million investment. I actually think it's stupid. We should be building our own mega factories, not putting our hands in other people, because EV batteries or any electric battery storage, and that's what this Britishvolt was going to be used for in the end. It wasn't even going to be used for EVs after it was bought from the Australian. The Australians actually bought it. They're saying they want to use it for mass battery storage, which is nothing to do with the EU at this stage. No, so it's nuts, isn't it? Really, it's absolutely nuts. I don't have a lot of faith in the future of EVs in the United Kingdom. I really don't. There's so many problems. We can't get the flipping electricity from one place to another because the infrastructure in the UK is shot. There's just ain't enough of it, basically. At the moment, we're trying to squeeze, I don't know, a gallon into a half-gallon pot. You know, a litre into a half-litre pot, or whatever. But, you know, it's just our cables from the north to the south. They can't meet the capacity. They can't carry it all. So electricity is going to waste, and at the moment it's costing about £1 billion a year or some crazy amount of money just to turn the wind turbines off and that. It's just madness. We don't seem to have joined up thinking in the United Kingdom at all. Everything just seems to be so disjointed. It doesn't make any sense. And this is the problem when you have all these different entities. That's the way I see it anyway. All these different businesses, corporations and what have you, all got their, they've got a little slice of the pie and what have you, and all they want to do is make that slice of that pie. Yeah, yes, thanks for that, Liz Truss. A little slice of pie, a little bit bigger. But they don't care how they go about it. So there's no joy. They don't care about what that person who owns that slice of pie is what they're doing, which is a part of the integral part of the whole thing to make it work efficiently. They don't care about efficiency. All they care is about more extractions of money. Money makes money, honey. That does. So unless we get joined up thinking, we're never going to get our act in gear. No. Really, we should be looking at nationalisation of key infrastructure. We see what's happening with the water authorities. We see what's happening with flipping out electricity providers and energy in general, and it's just we need more nationalisation, and that's what they did here in France regarding EDF. They bought up the rest of the shares of EDF. It cost about 11 billion, mind. It's a lot of money, you know. But they capped electricity to 4%. You might have criticism of Macron for whatever reasons that might be, but that was a wise move. It really was. That was a clever one. But what do? in the United Kingdom. We export everything and buy it back. If you think I'm kidding, well, I don't care if you don't believe me, but I was at the interconnector in one of the interconnectors in Bacton Gasworks. We were pumping gas over to Belgium, and they were pumping it back to us. And it's all to do with the exchange value. They buy it, we buy it back, and it pushes the price up. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And there are old people, they can't afford to actually heat, got the old dare. Was it last year? Or it's been reported that she was, to keep warm, that she was travelling around in the bus with her free bus pass so she could actually keep warm. She couldn't heat a house. What does that say about a country, especially so wealthy? There's something fundamentally wrong. It's broken. It really is broken. What we need is a socialist government, a proper socialist government, and not necessarily even Keir Starmer. Although he's probably our best bet at the moment, in many ways. I know I've had my grumbles about him, but I don't know. Oh dear, it all feels very, how to put it, disappointing. Because there's a wealth of tech knowledge in the United Kingdom, and there's a wealth of capacity and ability, and all we've done is just stranglehold ourselves with Brexit, for instance, and pushing people away, not allowing others to help us. Refugees, for instance, they look for jobs and we need their help. Germany has already said, come on board. They've lessened the requirements regarding the visas coming into Germany just recently. Let alone the 1 million plus that they allowed in before. Because they're aware that they need the people to get the economy moving. But not in the UK. It's all about optics. It's all about we don't want to be seen to allow these people into our country. We need them desperately. We either reduce our economy to a pittance of what it was, so we don't need them. And I think that's pretty much the plan at the moment. Or we actually embrace these people and get them into work. They want to work. They want to be a part of our society. They really do. It's just maddening. This arrogance. This British arrogance. No. If we don't start doing something about this now and actually start embracing these people, companies like Britishvolt are going to go flat on their face, one after the other, because they're not going to be able to function. They're not going to have a customer base, because everybody's shipping abroad. Madness. The whole thing is flipping crazy. It's not. The thing is, you see, it's not even if it's rocket science. This is all about feelings, sentiment. But, you see, those who've got a bit of empathy for others are the ones that are suffering because those who do not. And besides, it isn't about empathy. Those people who have no empathy, I'm sure they'll be very happy when somebody who happens to have a brown face, well, they probably won't be happy actually, come to that, I might have that one wrong, nurses them. Maybe they get a new knee joint or something, or hip or whatever, and the doctor happens to be Indian, maybe. Like my dad, for instance. My dad was a Brexiter, right? And he bust up his leg. He fell for a ladder and bust up his leg badly. The bone came out the side, he could have died. I mean, there was a huge amount of blood. Oh, crikey. What happened? He come home from work. He come home from the hospital. And he said, "Boy, where are you going to go into the and go and get my deck shoes or something?" Anyway, Carol, Mum told me where they were, and they're in this coal shed on the side of the house, where they were left at the time when everything was brought back. He just got chucked in a bag or whatever. He just chucked straight into the coal shed, forgotten about. And they were full of blood, literally absolutely full of blood, rock solid, absolutely rock solid with blood. Anyway, long story short, he was treated by an Indian surgeon, Not treated. The operation was by an Indian surgeon. He saved his leg. And then what does my dad do? He votes Brexit. Because of what Nigel Farage told him. It's maddening. Absolutely maddening. Anyway, I've gone really off track, haven't I? Oh well, never mind. You tell me what you think. Tell me your experiences as well. I would all, but to be more on point, I'd be very interested to know what you think about embracing the refugees and immigration as a whole. Let them help us, you know? In turn, we'll be helping them. You know, there's people out there, they'll go online and donate money and stuff to various charities and stuff like that because it makes them feel good about themselves. Well, wouldn't this do exactly the same thing, or is it too much on your doorstep? Makes me wonder. Now, you tell me, please leave it in the comments down below. Because I do read the comments, but you probably already know. But, yeah, you'll beat the like button and maybe subscribe to the channel. And a little bell icon so you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time I upload another video, maybe. I think there's something seriously wrong with us people, whoever he is. Well, anyway, I'll support the channel, you can do that on Patreon, or buy us a coffee, and the link's down below. Anyway, I'm going to go and finish my bet. Bet you touched it. Look, see? I'm a lightweight, me. Ta-ta!